This is the most violent shortcut on the planet, and ships cross it on purpose. There's a stretch of ocean so notorious that crossing it is basically a rite of passage for Antarctica travelers. It's only about 800 kilometers, roughly 500 miles wide, but it regularly turns normal waves into something that feels personal. And the wild part is, if you're sailing to Antarctica, you'll probably spend about 48 hours in it anyway. This gap is the Drake Passage, sitting between Cape Horn at the tip of South America and the South Shetland Islands near Antarctica. It connects the Atlantic and Pacific sides of the Southern Ocean, which means it's not just a sea, it's a major planetary crossroads. So the Drake isn't scary because it's mysterious, it's scary because it's perfectly placed. If Earth had a shake violently button, it would be located right here. The Drake sits in the Southern Ocean's powerful westerly wind belt, where weather systems can race around the globe with very little land to slow them down. With long, uninterrupted stretches of open water, wind has more distance, more runway, to build bigger swells. So before the Drake even starts doing Drake things, the ocean often arrives preloaded with energy. Now for the part that makes this feel unfair: the Antarctic Circumpolar Current. It's the only major ocean current that flows all the way around Antarctica from west to east, connecting the Atlantic, Pacific, and Indian Oceans into one circulating system. And Drake Passage is the tightest geographic squeeze point on its route. Only about 800 kilometers separate South America from Antarctica here, so a massive flow is forced through one corridor. Imagine trying to shove an entire ocean conveyor belt through a doorway. When strong winds push over a long fetch and a major current is moving underneath, waves don't just get tall, they get chaotic, because different wave trains and swells can overlap. Travel operators commonly warn that severe conditions can bring waves around 12 meters, about 40 feet, during the worst periods. That's why people joke about Drake Lake when it's calm, versus Drake Shake when it decides you need character development. If it's this rough, why do ships cross it at all? Because it's the most direct sea route from the main South American Gateway region, often via Ushuaia, to the Antarctic Peninsula area. A typical crossing is about 48 hours one way, which is long enough to be memorable, but short enough that expedition cruises can build whole itineraries around it. There are fly the Drake options that can save time. Some operators describe flights of around 2 hours versus days at sea. But sailing remains the classic route for many trips. It's like the highway to Antarctica, except the highway is actively trying to throw you into the ocean. This isn't the Bermuda Triangle. The Drake is dangerous for boring, explainable reasons: wind belts, open water, and a globally important current squeezed through a narrow gap. In other words, the Drake isn't supernatural, it's just geography being loud. Here's the payoff. This terrifying gap is also one of Earth's most important ocean choke points. Because the Antarctic Circumpolar Current helps connect ocean basins and acts as a barrier that limits warm subtropical waters from easily reaching Antarctica, what happens here ties into global circulation and climate behavior. So the Drake Passage is both a travel obstacle and a piece of planetary infrastructure, one of the places where the ocean's global plumbing is forced through a narrow valve. The Drake Passage is feared because it combines three things you never want in the same place: huge wind, endless open water, and the strongest current system on Earth getting squeezed through a gap. Thanks for listening. Please leave a like and subscribe, and don't forget to turn on the bell icon below so that you never miss our future videos.